Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to what is it? Our June 12th, Saturday, 7K day training. I was just visiting with a few Nisano, Carl, Gary. Gary in particular, he won that great big old kilo cat at the Salt Lake regional event. In fact, the biggest regional event we had in 7K to date. In fact, and I really believe the next one will even be double that, if not more. You're in a stage of momentum right now, and one of the things if you notice in the corporate call, one thing that I really am glad to see is that the company is taking some strong action against cross recruiting and these crypto deals that keep coming all the time into the marketplace, and that way we can all keep our focus on 7K. And I know it's been distracting for me and many others when people get off focus and get kind of sucked into some of these other things. And we saw that this last corporate call, but we also had a leadership call when we saw that. And I think that's part of the growth and maturity of the company and protecting everything for us all. But one of the messages that I wanted to kind of bring across today in our training is the way I always teach it. I think Cindy and Delton are a very, very good example of that. In Nisano, you can be too, because you're kind of really kind of new to our team, and that's the system I teach is 2 years to learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques, and in 3 to 5 years to build a strong business. And if you got the right product, the right company, you can do that. And we have all kinds of distractions in our life, our job, personal matters, family matters, things come up. And so it's keeping that regular, intensive, consistent, persistent work and attitude. And that's why part of attitude is part of the system, and part of belief is part of the system. And I know 7 little pieces of paper. Many people say, well, what a system is that? But it's one that works. It works for everybody. It works for people who perhaps has never, been in what we call market promotion or affiliate marketing or direct marketing or network marketing. But network marketing is something we all do every day, regardless of if we're earning income with it or not. And those examples are always true. We eat a good meal at a good restaurant. We talk about it, but the restaurant doesn't give you a good discount when you send people to them. You see a good movie, you talk about it and you talk about it and you talk about it. A lot of people go see the movie, but the movie doesn't give you big discounts the next time you go, or give you free tickets to go to the movie because you send so many people there. Well, let's take how do you really talk to people about 7K. Some people aren't just going to just jump on and run. And even people who made it fast, like Wayne and a few others, and the guy used Wayne because he was the first one to win that silver bar in 90 days, broke that barrier, kind of like Roger Bannister. And then it just set a stage that it can be done. And so everybody else started doing it or try to. The key is try to. Okay, setting goals. And when we set goals, and he overachieved them. Okay, and it was through an intensive teamwork concept. I mean, the guy put me on more three-way calls in the first 30 days than anybody had in 3.5 years of me doing 7K. And it's something I teach people to do over and over and over again, because you shouldn't be answering all the questions. You should use the tools to answer questions, like follow up with videos, those things. And if they still have questions, or if you've got someone that's very interested, a good contact, you need more third-party validation. And typically you want to work what you call up your support chain, because you have a sponsor. Well, that sponsor can help answer questions, and maybe that doesn't do it, but they still have more questions, and then you have that sponsor has a sponsor, or there is an upline, what I call upline support person. I always like to call it a chain of support above you. Let's say he is a silver or bronze, and they're working, helping you, wanting to also expand, and you hook them up and do a three-way with that. And what you want to do is kind of what I call walk up the ranks. If you walk up the ranks, and you ultimately get to me, and sometimes you may need to just kind of maybe only use one in between and get to me. For example, Gary uses George and then me. Okay, Cindy and Delton, they use Pamela and me. Okay, and so it depends on the person, and you'll get to know what you need to do with three ways. But three ways are an essential part of helping build your business. The reason is you show the people that it's not just you, that when they join with you, they join a support team, and that team can help you in expanding your team, and they know that they are joining. It's not all on them, and that's the real value of that. Now, again, I'm going to run back to my system. That's why this is, not something usual people know how to do. It takes time. It takes experience. In fact, just hooking up on three ways sometimes to learn how to work these things right here, to make them, conference in, do a three-way, that takes a little learning curve. And so that's part of learning the skills, and then the attitude, and being comfortable in doing it, and the techniques of how to do it, skills, attitudes, and technique, the SATs of the business. So with that backdrop, let me just kind of share my screen real quick. And I always like to do this with everyone. Try and get a little full screen here, if I may, and just quickly refer what my whole system is, is just another way in discussing different topics, that this is always the base of it. It takes time to learn anything we do. If we're an electrician, if we're a carpenter, if we're a machinist, if we're a pipe fitter, if we're a ball maker rigger, if we want to be a programmer, we want to learn how to do tax returns. Anything in life that we do, we have to learn. We don't just automatically have the skills. And if you want to make the big income, get a great degree, be an engineer, be an architect, be a doctor, and many other professions. Don't leave any. You got many years of education. That's that learning phase. It takes a lot of them. Even like with an engineer, I'm a chemical engineer, and then got a master's in business. That's 7 years. Well, a doctor spends 8 to 10 years. Okay, and then you're not earning while you're learning. In fact, you're going in debt. And so let's just make an analogy right there. You get to earn while you learn, and with 7K, you get to accumulate wealth, gold and silver, and while we need gold and silver. So we'll be able to, you can use the system as part of when you introduce the 7K wealth strategies, go through learn how to do the presentation here with the, just a one-on-one, just sitting down one-on-one at a coffee table or a coffee shop or, a restaurant or, even at Wendy's or Burger King or wherever you get some fast food. And, you can thumb through that, but you always want to make sure you have your tools. What are your tools? A silver eagle coin, at least one or a couple. And you pretty much always have that paper money with you. Okay. And I always carry my tool set. I always carry the Silver Eagle MS-70. I don't know, when I got these back see it, muck it out on that. So I've got to learn how to do that here. But, just as those professions, it takes a while. And you don't just come out making a big money. And the better you get at it, the more income you generate. But the difference between those traditional ones where we get a job and this where you own your own business, you're building your own business, you're building a plan B all along the time as you accumulate wealth. And that's what I like so much about 7K always have. You're accumulating wealth, you're accumulating gold and silver, real assets in this process, and collectibles, which gain value even more rapidly than bullion does. And bullion gains value pretty quickly when they're printing up those dollars. Well, I want you to be able to do as I do, integrate the two and together, and it gives them more comfort and that that they might be able to do this. And then you tell them what the real job description is, and then the real main thing is making that consistent, regular, persistent commitment of time. Because if you're not making that time to even learn and develop those skills, attitudes, and techniques, you won't really get there. It's just like if you don't go show up at a part-time job, you're not going to earn the income just because you accepted the application. They accepted your application and said you're hired. You got to show up and you got to be there. Got to put the time in. Okay. Same here. Except you're putting in time for you and your family. You're developing your business. You're developing your income and team. And so how do we give you how you do that? These are where you learn how to pique people's interest, those skills, those different techniques, using the wealth system on your phone, using the videos and different techniques that have been trained, and things that you do in casual conversation and consistent conversation. Just because you talk to someone, they say no in the beginning, there's a difference between pestering them and this consistent follow-up and providing information. And so that's how we learn to do those different things. But most of your time is going to be spent in learning, in going through the training materials, and going through even the presentation materials yourself over and over until you can do on your own a little presentation using the materials that are provided, videos and the wealth strategies. And you can attend this now with Zoom meetings and telephone conference calls. You don't have to have it individually, but like we do, I've been providing training since day one, all the time, every week. And now, our leaders, many of our leaders are doing their own trainings. And whereas they used to see them here, now they're doing their own. And then they have leaders that are doing their own. And that's the duplicatability. And that's what you want to have. And that's part of that 3 to 5, 10 year, it grows, and you won't be doing everything yourself. And then with, just kind of a simple job description, just like we do in work or jobs or things like that. And that's what we want everybody to see. Then how to build. You got a left side and a right side, and kind of just an organized plan that's proven to be working, like hose down dissension, arguing and fighting. I just have a technique that's worked over the years in multiple companies that I've done. This is my third, and hopefully my last. Okay, and I'm sure it will be. I'm a good 74, soon to be 75. And then, the power of exponential expansion starts working for you. And just kind of think about this now. You have to have two. You have to find two partners, one on your left and one on your right. Okay. Now, sometimes you can find them with part of it within your own family. And that's the great way to start, one on your left and one on your right inside your own family. And then each of you need to get two. But what if they're only half as good as you, as I say, and they only average one in the next time period? Then you got 4 on your total team. And then if they only average 1 each the next time period, and then you got 8. So hopefully you got 4 on each side. And then 16, then 32, then 64, and then throw up that same duplication model. Now I know this is a perfect duplication, and not many people will do it exactly like this. But in time, long time, things that kind of average out and develop that. But you could get, what if you ended up with just 100 people on your left team and right team, and they're just ordering on average one of the coins every month, that 100, and maybe have more than 100 on your team, but they're just ordering that one of the 3 coins, and let's say it averages 20 points, but that's 2,000 points in a month. Well, 4 into 2,000 is 500. That's 500 a week coming up each side. And that's an extra $500 a week. So you could be striving to make in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, an extra $500 a week. Thing is, don't get frustrated if it's not coming fast enough for you. Be persistent, be consistent. And if you want to make it come faster, you're going to have to put more time and effort into it. Or you might be one of the fortunate ones that end up with somebody who sponsors somebody, who sponsors somebody, who sponsors someone, and it just has a ton of volume coming up, and you accumulate it in one center as long as you're active. Then what do? You keep working on the opposite side and the opposite team, but maybe you sponsor yourself a person, or someone sponsors a person who sponsors a person who sponsors a person, and you have that ton of volume coming up. Now you're concerned with a lot of volume coming up. Let's say you have 5,000 coming up on each side. What do I mean by 5,000 coming up? Like you got 5,000 coming up on this side, 5,000 coming up this side, but you're just an associate. All you can make is $500 a week. You got to do what? You got to rank up. So then your job is to help someone else duplicate what you did. And because someone in your sponsorship line is going to have a lot of volume on one side. And so it's learning these things and understanding these things to be able to communicate them. And then that's why this industry of networking has really created millionaires from many people of every walk of life. And it is just if you're at the right time, the right place, with the right company, and that's what you are with 7K. It's not even 5 years old, and look at the growth of where we're at. And it's going to open globally in every country around the world. And so you have an opportunity as this go back again, as this goes to infinity, And many studies say that we're only 5 people removed from anyone anywhere in the world. That means you know a person who knows a person who knows a person who knows a person who knows a person, and they can be in any country in the world. Now, that's, and I don't remember the probability, but it's extremely high, and I know we've got some remote countries, okay, but it's a truism. And it's the degree of how, closely are related to that person, let's say. But let's say we can extend it more down to 10, and then that probability gets higher and higher. Okay. So it's a matter of learning how to root that out, how to get it. And again, that's a skill. That's something that needs to be learned. But attitude's the thing that we've got to, even myself, I've got to work on this all the time myself. And it has to do with a lot of our personalities. But this is why I teach people to read attitude every day, post it on their refrigerator, post it in the bathroom, and then open up the Bible and read 15 minutes in the Bible, because that's where you're going to learn all the leadership skills, all those extra skills that you need. Just start somewhere and then just pick up and keep reading from there. But always start somewhere, either in Psalms, Proverbs, or John, and then just read on them from where you got started till you come all the way back around, and just keep doing that. And then this is going to give you these 3 beliefs that you need. And that's the belief in the profession, belief in the business building system. And that's the system the company now has, because we have training totally in the company, and belief in the fact that you can do it too and integrate it with my system. And so with that review, I want everybody to understand that, everyone can be successful. And that's what I wanted to bring up Cindy and Delta. They've been involved with me since day one. Delta works very long, very, very hard hours. And one by one, consistent, persistent, stayed in it, but they have developed a consistent income, extra income. And I dare say that they have built up a wealth of collectibles, because I know I've seen the coins and and accumulating real wealth that they never had before. And the same with every person in 7K, because to be active, to earn your check, you buy a collector, you don't make that $1.2 million mistake. And that's why it's important to learn and to be able to discuss that $1.2 million mistake versus the objections that even in the beginning where we had regular MS-70 coins, but people are going to always have these objections, I call it. They say, well, I can get this cheaper. Well, are you buying it? No. Well, here's a way. Are you sticking away money in mutual funds, IRAs, SEPs? Are you doing that? Versus doing what we're doing. I'm trying to get my clock up. And one of the things I've seen with doing Zooms, I never really can read my time on my computer. But I'm going to try and bring Delton. I want to try and bring you in and talk about this a little bit because you kind of know about what assets you have, kind of what regular income on average you got. So you don't have to say exactly what you got. But Nisano is one of the newest persons joining the team, and it gives a really good example of the steady, stalwart, and your son, John's been with us in and out, but he works extremely long hours. But now they're getting a consistent extra income, and they're building wealth. And I know it was with a lot of help and support, but that's the whole thing. That's what teamwork is about. And now with that belief level can accumulate and build up, and then that gives them more posture in its future discussion and even follow up in the years with people, what we call in the pipeline. So just because people said no 2 years ago or 3 years ago, doesn't mean they're going to say no tomorrow. And if you don't keep following up with them, giving them information about what's going on, sharing the latest information about coins and things like that, then you will not, you will not be able to follow up with them again as they think you're just trying to get them so you can make money off them. What you want to do is share information with them on a consistent, regular basis about what's going on and the things that you are enjoying. And by doing that, you'll find the right time, the right place in their life that they will decide to join you. Okay. And the next thing that I want to do is for today is 3 ways that everybody can learn to present this business. Know where you're at. You don't have to have someone else presenting it for you. You don't have to have a Zoom where I'm doing the web strategies or someone else is doing the web strategy. I mean, that's available, okay? But what I want you to understand, the biggest part of duplicatability, and we will have those, but the biggest part of duplicatability is that you use the wealth strategies video and just learn how to play it. It's only 18 minutes long, and learn how to maybe pause on a few of the important stages and discuss them and put some product in their hand and get, and talk about like the 1 ounce coin and the $1 bill, and the milk example, because see, that milk example stops at 2019 with 5.1 gallons of milk. Well, today we know this is, and you say, well, this is 2021. So what's happened? Well, that dollar bill buys you even less milk if you can even get a taste with a dollar somewhere. Well, that 1 ounce silver coin will buy you over 7 gallons of milk in 2021. So see, that 1 ounce silver coin would have been worth buying on a consistent basis instead of sticking, $40, $50, $100 into a mutual fund, an IRS, a CD in particular. Let's say you had $100 in the bank at the beginning of the year last year, or when that you had $100 in the bank at that 2019 point, and that's your comparison at 2019. But now, what is that $100 bank worth here in 2021? That's saying you'd earn a little bit of interest, maybe you have $101, okay? But if you'd had that silver coin, $100 worth of silver coins in your bank at that time in 2019, look at what you would add today in 2021. The ratio of buying 5 gallons versus 7 gallons of milk. So learn to give these updated examples where they are. And that's what I've been doing in my presentation. And in fact, I have been doing in our personal meetings. I've been showing the video and pausing at places like that and teaching our group to learn these pauses, and it makes it more effective. But if you can't, don't worry, just play the video through and then go through the old process of, let's answer question. We answer question with more videos, more information, because they're interested. As long as they ask questions, they're interested. And then what you do is go through that third party validation, get that support team, those three-way calls, those bring in your sponsor. If your sponsor's active, don't bring in your sponsor if they don't know what's going on. And if they know less than you. No, you only bring in your sponsor if they're active, engaged, they understand, you've been learning from me. You bring in your next support person that's knowledgeable, that's ranked up, that understand, that's engaged, and then you have a chance to do what we call a 1, 2, 3, and then that way you don't necessarily do it back to back, but you can do it with intervals of time. That's an art. Everyone's different in how to do that, but these are the things we learn. Okay, next thing is learning how to do this right here. The same as if I was doing a PowerPoint or a PDF Zoom presentation. I use the PDF a little bit more than the PowerPoint. It's just easier to control on the Zoom. And you just go from slide to slide, page to page. But the PDF is the same as this book right here. No different, okay? And so you can do the same thing one-on-one right there at the kitchen table of your friend, relative, or whoever you're visiting, or if they're visiting you, or in the back patio. And practice this with your spouse, practice this with your children, practice this with one another. This is how you will be able to learn to give your own presentation. You'll be able to then help other people later learn to do what you learned to do. And that's duplication. And that's what it's all about. And so let's get back to the point of illustrations of how this has worked. Cindy and Delta, Nisano. Nisano even came in and went to Salt Lake City with his family. And so I'm gonna unmute you, and I want Cindy, and Delton. I'm gonna need to mute all, and then I need to allow you to unmute. There you go. Sorry for this on those hearing the video replay. And Cindy and Delton, I'm going to ask you to unmute, and just like for you to come in for me. Okay, Delton, could you just tell us a little bit about what kind of silver and gold and products you got? I mean, do you have just I know you've been engaged for like 5 years, almost now 4.5 years. So I know, and you and your wife, you and your wife are both engaged, and your son. But let's just take you and your wife. So I know with that, I know you at least have, 24 numismatic products every year times, let's say 5, just make easy math, and that'd be 120 of these valuable numismatic coins, because you got the state series, some animal series, other unique ones that were there in the first. But I know y'all participated in coin drops and special things, and you saw special things, and I know you were always buying those and other coins. So gee whiz, when you start thinking about it, I know you have probably about 200 at minimum, and that in itself is intrinsic wealth. So Delton, let me let you tell in your own words what how this has done for you and your family.
Well, it's been quite an adventure since you called Cindy that night or that day while I was at work, of course, and she got in before I got home.
Yes.
And then I said, well, we've been looking for this silver and gold deal for a long time. Now here it is. Why didn't you get a tri-pack? So I got a tri-pack, and we have consistently bought our coin of the month every month. And you're right, we've got a lot of them, a lot more than you said. And I can truthfully say, I don't like to sell them. I try to hang on to my coins because I have watched them over 4 years consistently increase in value. We've got a few coins that we paid around $100 for that's worth $400 or $500 a piece, and I'm still letting them stew in the pot. And so, and then we've got some really nice Miles Standish coins. Not long after we got in 7K, I bought a monster box from 7K. I'm not ashamed to say I got a pretty good deal on it at the time. It was $9,500. Look what that monster box costs today.
Over $20,000.
Over $20,000. That's just one box.
Delton, very good example. And some of the other examples that you've given are powerful examples of just what we mean by accumulating wealth over time and securing your wealth, because these are in your possession, correct?
Yes, yes.
They're not over in some bank or safety deposit box, or they're not sitting in like a paper instrument in this financial institution called a bond, and you don't know what to do with these things. And yes. One other thing I want to bring to stake is something new that, and Nisano got to see it. It was unfortunate. I know you couldn't come. I know that was really painful that y'all couldn't be in Salt Lake City, because you always like to be at these events. But sometimes life gets in the way, and that those things do happen. But stack and sell is being introduced so that people will have a true secondary market and being able to, when they want or desire to sell an extra coin or something, uh, they'd have a place. But the bullion coins like the monster box and the other bullion that you purchase throughout time. The other thing is 7K will give you the highest buyback price in the industry. I mean, that's phenomenal when you start thinking about it. So you get to accumulate wealth, and now you get to earn income. So have you earned? I mean, I hear you bought all this stuff, but have you earned any income?
Oh, yes, definitely. We earned probably enough to, our income is paying for our silver. So all of our coins that we've got, our specialty coins, that's paying for our silver. My income tax savings every year, that helps buy us even more silver.
Oh, you mean those 1099 tax benefits because you're in a
definitely,
versus
definitely,
employment, correct?
exactly.
Hey, and by the way, I know way back in the beginning, in the very beginning, that we had that word tri-pack, but we don't do that. It's a business family pack that we have.
Yeah, I know. I got that term tied in my head.
It's your wife, and then you and your company, and then bingo, that makes a business family pack. And
Right.
and that's exactly the way we build a business in accordance with the policies and procedures of the company. And we don't like to use that old language anymore of the old type binaries in the industry. That's where a member direct marketing company, new type in the industry. Uh, so so I know well you have ranked up, you've been recognized, you've got a great team, and so John's starting to make a real significant income driving that truck, but he's starting to start getting a recurring nice income check coming in through his 7K, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's really excited. And of course, he's like me. I'm wanting to retire and he's wanting to get out of the truck.
Isn't that right? Kind of like Bruce Harris, right?
Yeah.
Except he's not delivering Idaho potatoes like Bruce was. Hey, look, and then you were able to Nisano and his wife. They over the time you've discussed things and you've brought in people. You've brought in people in your family, and I know some of your family members have sold some of their coins and got more than what they paid for. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is.
So we know that we're not getting them into something that they're going to lose money in, right?
Right.
That's
exactly.
That's the point that I always try to make in this is that, you got to allow yourself the opportunity to succeed. And even when you're collecting these fabulous coins, you're building wealth at the same time. Look, you see in my backdrop the 1 ounce Miles Standish Lady Liberty coin. There was only 1,868 of those made. And then the 2 ounce that followed it at a very almost simultaneously followed it was 1,028, representing October 28th, 1868, when France gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States. Unique, one of a kind in the whole industry, in the whole numismatic world, with brand new technology in coin, and they're proof 70 coins. They're not bullion coins, or they're not gem graded coins. These are these are the perfect. You can't get higher gradings. Now these coins sold, and you and I bought them, and so did many other people. The 1 ounce at $1.99 and the 2 ounce at $2.99. It's about $500. And I know this last year, Pastor Henry, he bought quite a number of sets, and he was selling them at $12.50 a set, and he sold all out of his extras at $12.50 a set.
Wow.
But actually, he actually went up on his last sets because he was underselling the value of them because he had more people wanting them than he had sets. Today, yeah, I was just talking to him the other day. He called me and was wanting to talk about the Liberty coin and what he's kind of looking. He'd like to put more sets together. Didn't get enough. He got more 1 ounces and he got 2 ounces, but I wasn't willing to sell any of mine. and he because he was selling his 1 ounces for $500. What a return in such a, I mean, these coins were introduced, but not delivered in our New York, Long Island event just a little more than a year ago. and so that gives a great set. I know Nisano's joined us. Thank you, Delta and Cindy. Appreciate those comments there. Nisano, I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself. I'd like you're kind of, I think, one of the newest to our group, and you're let's see, where, there you are, Nisano. Nisano, how long have you been a member now of 7K?
I think I got in late October of last year.
Late October, so let's just say November, December, here we are going into June, about 8 months. And in May, you and your entire family went to Salt Lake City, correct?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I really, I haven't even asked you this, but I'd really like to know, I mean, you're just a member, you're an associate now, aren't you, Nisano?
Correct.
Okay, and congratulations. That's the first step in ranking up and qualifying to earn a $500 check every week. Of course, it doesn't mean you're going to make $500 every week, but you're qualified. You're able to. So as points come up, as your team build, you'll be like Cindy and Delta. So that takes time and expense. And you actually brought your entire family, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So what prompted you to take that time and expense, and you're just new to 7K and coming from where, Rogers, Arkansas? Where are you at in Arkansas?
Springdale, Arkansas.
Springdale, Arkansas. What prompted you? I know we talked a lot about it in our calls and things like that, but what really prompted you, made that decision for you and your wife to agree to come to Salt Lake City?
Belief in the company, really, a little bit to learn more about the company, to go to get a better insight of the company whenever we went. And just going off in the beginning, I really was just really interested in just the coins itself, just to diversify my portfolio. But the more I looked into the company, the more I was interested in the company.
So the more you were interested in pursuing even the plan B, the income aspects, to actually building and helping communicate the benefits of 7K to other people.
Right.
Okay. But that's powerful. It shows, really your ability to look ahead and ability to spend some money to really find out the facts, kick the tires yourself, see more than just Delton and me and our phone calls and the things that we did together. You actually took the action that it takes to be successful. And I want to commend you for making that time and spending that expense. And I know in our discussions that you found that was invaluable to you. Is that right?
Yes, it was. It was really invaluable. That was probably, I've been to a couple seminars before in the past years, and I never have gone to something that exciting and powerful in a seminar before.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate your opinion, and good luck to you and your wife and your family in building your 7K team and and accumulating your wealth, securing your wealth, and building a legacy for your family. I know I was fortunate to meet your young children, and so you have a lot to work for. And congratulations for your vision and foresight and decisiveness and commitment, because you followed through on that decision and you did it. Thank you again for your comments. You know, I'm gonna
Bob,
Yes, sir.
can I say something? Can I
Absolutely.
say something? I talked to Nisano months and months before he decided to get in. And all he was interested in was the coins. He wanted to diversify, like you said. Then when he did get in, I said, I told him, I said, you got a wealth of information on that website. And he started digging into that website, and he went through that, buddy, all that training, everything from front to back. That's what convinced him that this deal is a real deal. And that's important, to go through these websites and find out about the company. They got tremendous training. And I must say that he has caught on to this very, very fast, because he is eager to learn. And he learns everything that he can about the business, and it shows.
Well, that shows that y'all are going to make a great leadership team there in the Springdale area, and help other people that join your team, because y'all there together and y'all build a brick at a time, one at a time, just like in that exponential expansion. It's just a matter of time. But you also demonstrated the other thing. You followed up, had communication, and you did encourage Nisano to do what we teach. Make sure they on board properly with the training. That's extremely duplicatable. He dug in. He watched the training. He wanted information. He obtained the information himself, which is the best way. And then if he has questions, he asks questions. And that's what we all want to take people through, that process. And so remember, it's a process and it's not an event. Just the event comes when sometime in the process they sign and become a member of the team. Well, that's the first event. And then we have event after event after event. When they make associate, when they go to a regional event with 7K, those are the events. And then when they get ranked up to copper, and then when they get ranked up to bronze, and then when they get ranked up to silver, and those become the events. And that's what we want to do. Well, I want to thank everybody for your time and attention this morning. And dig in, stay tuned in, stay plugged in, help one another, build up one another, and help each person learn more and more about what we have, and especially the new things that are being involved. The Sound Money Wallet, the vault, all the things that you can do with the Sound Money Wallet, and stack and sell. Now, I know only the people like Nisano, and he's probably already engaged. Maybe we'll do that on next Saturday's training. Only the people that attended the event right now are doing the beta testing for the stack and sell. And I know we've heard about it on the corporate call. You'll be hearing more about it on the corporate call. And I'm sure they'll be releasing it for everyone to participate in. But that's where you can actually, you know, as a member, you can scan and put all your products you purchased throughout time with 7K, is if it's a collectible product, you and put it into your inventory. Even if you bought collectible products from other sources, you can scan and put them in. And then if you want, you can put them up for sale in the marketplace. Now you won't have contact with the buyer. Stack and sell is going to be the intermediary. They're going to validate the authenticity of your product, and they're going to certify the authenticity of the product for what it is represented as, and to the buyer. And they're going to have that contact with the buyer, and there's going to be a meeting of the minds of the price. And once that occurs, then 7K, well, Stack and Sell will make the sell to the buyer. The buyer will pay, and then Stack and Sell will remunerate you. And then there'll be fees accordingly in that. They'll all come out. And but eventually, as I understand it, that Stack and Sell open market would be open to other than just 7K members. In the beginning, it's 7K members, but that'd be open to the entire numismatic world, public world. And that's going to be very important, because eBay at the end of this is cutting out any sales of gold and silver collectible coins, because of all the suits that they have been incurring because of fake product being sold in the marketplace. Meaning, you can take pictures of these things, but if they're not real inside, then they're not really worth anything, you know, or worth virtually nothing. And so there are fakes in the world, and that's why you want to buy a dependable, reliable source like 7K. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm available. You know, you all have my phone number, and I look forward to our next 7K day, and make the best of this one. This is Saturday. This is your payroll day. And so check your volumes, check your people's volumes, help them make their next step, help them keep their rank. We've done lots of training on that, and y'all have a blessed 7K day.